guys. So I thought I would do a fun video about how I started my long hair journey, how I got here, and kind of just a little bit about me in the process. So when I was probably about, I would say 3 or 4 years old, my hair is probably down to my waist. I always really liked long hair, but through most of my life, I guess my hair probably is about this long for like a lot of my life, like when I was pretty young, and I really enjoyed it. I liked having my hair in braids and different things, but then of course I always liked the appeal of getting like a bob. So there's quite a few times throughout when I was pretty little and then into the time when I was a teenager, when I would have my hair at about a bob, and then I would try to grow it back out again. I would experiment with bangs and then no bangs, and I would just kind of basically, I guess I'd always really wanted like long flowing hair, but when I was younger I was like, oh, I should kind of do what's sort of trendy, although I kind of just usually did what I wanted anyway, whether it was trendy or not. But with my hair, I was pretty insecure about it because it's pretty thick. And so a lot of the girls with thinner hair than me, I actually really like wished my hair was thinner, even though when I was young everyone would say, oh my gosh, your hair is so thick, like I wish my hair was that thick, especially like hairdressers and things, people like that. But my hair was thick, and there's definitely problems that I faced, I mean, if you want to call it that, with having thick hair, especially when I was younger, because I would want to do like, so I would get my hair thinned on purpose, and I would get like choppy layers and bangs and things to kind of try to thin it out, because I just felt like it was so thick I couldn't do anything with it. It just kind of looked like this mass of hair, especially when it's like shorter on me as well. Like without the length does help weigh it down and even it out a little bit, but when it's like a little bit shorter, it just kind of poofs out a little bit more, and it's like flat at my head and then kind of poofs in a triangular kind of shape. And I didn't like that at all, and all the cool kids had like layers and bangs, and they used straighteners on their hair and everything. I did, I think at one point, buy a straightener. It was really cheap and didn't really work very well, so I hardly ever used it. But I would use like the hair dryer from time to time, but I was always kind of low maintenance anyway, so my hair just never really looked that great, because it wasn't very long, but then I didn't really style it very well either. It was just difficult for me to manage. I couldn't ever figure out how to do it in the way that I wanted it to be. So when I think when I was about, I'm not sure, like 17 years old maybe, or 18 perhaps, I stumbled upon the long hair community online. I never actually joined it, but you can still view a lot of the forums and everything, and that's what it was. And so I just started doing all sorts of research about like hair care and all sorts of things, and I was like hooked for the moment I got on there. I would literally spend like hours and hours and hours of my time looking at the different posts and what people are talking about, and I learned a lot about like hair oiling and using no heat on your hair, and herbal remedies and all sorts of things that I would have no idea about if I hadn't stumbled upon that forum. And so I learned a lot of information about it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna grow my hair out really long. And at the time I thought really long was gonna be like waist length, but now I want to go way past waist length, because to me that doesn't seem very long anymore. But anyway, I decided to go waist length, and I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take really good care of my hair. And it didn't really go according to plan, because then I was like, oh, but I could like dye my hair red. And so I did. It was actually more of a strawberry blonde colored dye, and I really liked it actually, because I don't really like on me at least, I don't really like the heavy red. I like the really natural kind of strawberry blonde sort of red hair. So I had that for a little while, but then it, I believe it was a temporary dye that I had, so it ended up fading pretty quickly. And then I experimented again with some bangs. This is probably about the time that I was 8 or 19 perhaps. So then I thought, okay, I'm gonna like take good care of my hair again. And I would just basically experiment with dye and damage it, and then cut it short to get rid of the dye, and then I would say, okay, I'm gonna grow my hair out long again, and then I would dye it again, or get a really random haircut, get it cut short. But in my heart, my hair, I always really wanted my hair to be very long ever since I was a young teenager, I would say. And I was never happy with what I'm able to do with my hair, because it's so thick, you just can't really do many styles with my hair at this length with this thickness. So it makes it very difficult, and so it needs to be much longer to be able to do a lot of the old-fashioned hairstyles, which I really, really enjoy. So that brings me to about 2 years ago now, I would say. Yeah, because it was kind of just a vicious cycle of dyeing and cutting and dyeing and cutting. But the last time I dyed it, I tried to dye it a blonde color, but it ended up turning this really weird brassy kind of orangish color. Not at all the color that I was going for. So I was like, okay, and at this point, oh, and I also gotten some highlights. I actually really liked how blonde highlights looks in my hair. It just gives like an extra dimension to it, but I didn't really want to add any more colorings to my hair. And so several years ago, I think 2 years ago now, I still had probably it was in February of 2018 now, I think. My hair from here to here was like roots, and then from about the top of my ear down was like the colored, really damaged hair, and it was really, really damaged at this point. It just felt kind of like a Velcro and disgusting and gross. So I decided to let it grow a little bit longer. Well, I first cut most of the dye off, so I probably got it cut to about here, and then I decided that I wanted I wanted to really get rid of all the dye. I didn't want to just wait for it to naturally grow out. I just wanted to get done in one big thing. That's kind of me. I'm usually all or everything or nothing. So a couple months later in the spring, I think it was like April or May, I got it cut again. And this time it was probably like just above my chin, somewhere like jaw area, that I got it cut, and all the dye was finally gone from my hair. But it was really, really short, and I hated it. I hated it from the moment that I stepped out of the hair stylist. But I knew that was just one step towards my goal of long hair. And at the time, my goal was about tailbone length, so that's a little bit past hip length. So that was kind of like sort of what I was hoping to grow to. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna bite the bullet and do it. So I did actually get it cut, and it was kind of miserable. So that whole year, I didn't really like my hair at all. Most of the next year, I didn't like it a lot either. Basically, it wasn't until this spring that my hair began finally to sort of feel long. It didn't feel like it was a little bit past my shoulder at that point, and so I could like really put in a ponytail and things like that, and begin to kind of put in like buns and stuff. So that was really, really nice. And so, but now I am around BSL length, maybe slightly a little bit past it at this point. I'm around 27 inches if I measure from right here all the way back to the very ends of my hair. So I think it's just a little bit past bra strap length on me right now. I'm liking this length because it's the first time I'm actually able to wear a bun with a hair stick in it. And I don't think I have one to show you, but I have quite a few different hair sticks, and I can actually do one kind of bun now that has no pins at all except a hair stick, and I'm very, very excited about it. It makes it very quick, very easy to do, and I've wanted to do a bun with a hair stick since I was about 17 or 18, and I first found the long hair care forums, or the long hair forums, and a lot of the women there had gorgeous long hair, and they would use all sorts of different hair forks and hair sticks to hold up their buns, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So my hair is finally, like within the last several weeks, long enough for me to consistently hold it up with nothing but a hair stick, and I'm super excited about that. I can only do one bun so far because it actually divides your hair kind of in two sections and you make different loops with them. So it's like thinner hair you're working with. So it makes it easier. You can do more with it versus if I use all of my length and try to do everything with one big bunch of hair and make a loop and everything. It's not very long. It's too thick to be able to go around that many times. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but since my hair is so thick for that, it needs to be longer before I can do other sorts of buns because it's still pretty short to use hair sticks. But I can definitely use one kind of bun, which is the disc bun, and I will have a tutorial up for that bun as well. And that's kind of where I'm at today with my hair. My goal is to, like I said, I think I want to grow it to about classic length. And we'll see how I feel when I get closer to that or how long that takes. My guess, based upon how fast my hair seems to have grown, I think I probably will be there in about 3 years, I think. Maybe 4 at the longest. Well, maybe 4. It depends how my hair ends up growing when it gets longer. But if it grows at the same rate and I retain all of it and doesn't like break off at the ends, then I think for sure in 3 to 4 years, I should definitely be at classic length, which feels like a long time, but at the same time, hopefully next year by this time, my hair will be at waist length. And then the milestones, I don't know, that just seems like so big to me. The longest my hair has ever been was about waist length for a very short amount of time when I was a teenager, and then I like dyed it again, damaged it, got layers, I don't know, but I got it cut again. So I'm really excited this time to really be growing it out. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on the progress of my hair. And if you guys have any questions or anything, there's a lot I can still learn about hair stuff, but I have also been like researching different things for quite a few years since I was like a teenager as well, so that's kind of cool. And so yeah, just let me know if you have any questions about anything. And yeah, how long is your hair, and are you growing yours out? Yes or no? Yay or nay? Just let me know.